got enough. you're sick.
So, again, this is just a remix. I don't think we need to do anything crazy with the beat. I think, realistically, if we just keep the bass where it's at, keep the flutes where it's at, might want to rearrange the bridge a little bit. But as soon as that bass hits, I just hit him with that.
I grew some titties on my chest, but y'all still be double checking. Leave the message undelivered, but they still be double texting. Triple double up a little rubber pussy in a puddle. Then I just stick the tip in and she begging for the double take. Tell me how a single song make me up and run away. See, they fucking love to hate till
Sorry.
Till I muscle up.
Here, I need to start this over from the beginning. It's so good.
So, again, this is just a remix. I don't think we need to do anything crazy with the beat. I think, realistically, if we just keep the bass where it's at, keep the flutes where it's at, might want to rearrange the bridge a little bit. But as soon as that bass hits, I just hit him with that.
I grew some titties on my chest, but y'all still be double checking. Leave the message undelivered, but they still be double texting. Triple double up a little rubber pussy in a puddle. Then I just stick the tip in and she begging for the double take. Tell me how a single song make me up and run away. See, they fucking love to hate till I muscle up in another state. When I see that number, bitch, I always double take, cause none of them say.
Everywhere I go, them niggas be like, that's my baby cousin. Bitches love me cause I'm chasing goals. I shoot my shot at bucket. Don't get mad cause I'm playing house with your BM. I woke up like this nigga, I bought my shit from AM to PM. Got the dicky, got the blicky cause my hometown crazy. Got my hair locked up like I'm Weezy up, baby. I'm coming to fuck shit up. Yeah, let's leave it out crazy. I've been doing this shit since like 13. That's why I'm your bitch favorite. Okay.
Hold up, wait.
Everywhere I go,
double take, over slacks, another great. Yo, got the ladies coming over, it's gon' fun, okay. Love that face, she say it's the subtle things. Diamond dancing, black queen on my arm, and she double caked up on a Tuesday. Yeah, they get the fake and bring the tennis doomsday. Please do not mistake it, shut the fuck up, cause you too fake. You don't wanna make me go. Got too much up on your plate, yo, you too low vibrational. Ooh, they gon' fake the soul, but I be on that Swayze though. Ooh, you can't take my hoes, these garden tools replaceable. Ooh, what they hate me for is funny, cause I stay for show. Every time I'm passing by, they break your necks to catch the whole glimpse of the fear and a watch on the wrist. Got their hands to Ducati when she clock in the scent. I'm the prince in Bugatti, tell the cops they can kiss my ass when I pass, cause they not finna get no double take.
Girl, a big stepper in the size 12. Just to ride around, pushing gas like a fire sale. Now I'm online, still supplying to my clientele. Big smile, tell my haters I'm alive and well. Yeah, and tell little mama that she fine as hell. Your man said that he rap, I can hardly tell. Pound for pound, bar for bar, round for round, beat your answer 159, get you saved by the bell. Please don't be so jealous, tell them evangelicals need to eat some edibles. Vegan, keto, it can be whatever though. Tell them if they really want me, they can come and get me. I don't go quietly and it won't go quickly. Got a big knife and I might chop a dick. She's free like a mason, walk the line like Dixie. Chicks all betwixt sending tits like pick me. Bitch, my existence is kismet. Granny Smith shape of the ass, you can kiss that. You felt some type of way when I passed and you pissed at it. We getting attacked, but the masses give a shit about it. These kids dying in class, but my strap is forget about it. These stocks been the collapse because my taxes getting dicked around with. Tell me how the military fucking fails are art of it, still got all of our budget. Tell me why turbo taxes this we got auto deposit. Tell me why the stakes got higher when I climb out of the closet. And tell me why I'll lose my job if I put color on my eyelids, or where these rappers got their pride when they ain't sliding the slightest. Tell me how the fucking genre sleeping on me like Biden. Better know that 3 are fucking goddess. Y'all go suck on my tridents, damage, bitch.
That was so good. Here's a link to the YouTube. Here you go. Knock yourselves out, kiddos. And you did rightly ask me, how did I find this? And I found it on Twitter. The trans lady in that video, Damage, had the lyrics from that song, grab a pistol, pop a bigot in his little dick, featured on the front page of InfoWars. And you know what? I figured in honor of being alive, being trans, being anti-fascist, we'd highlight that song because goddamn, it's actually really good. Like, Lady's got bars. And you can activate text to speech with 5. Anything that causes a message to pop up, and that should be $5. I bet the Nashville shooter listened to it too. I mean, probably not. It just came out 5 days ago, so I'm gonna guess not, considering the Nashville shooter is long dead. But welcome, Christine Weston Chandler.
Easy clap, y'all cowards, don't even smoke crack. Easy clap, transphobes their way out of a burlap sack. Easy clap, give your money to Jack.
The easy clap, easy clap. Easy clap, easy clap. Easy clap, easy clap. How we doing, folks? Wait, I need to see. I think I might need to. Disable one of the audio things here. Yes. Here's alert box. We're going to copy that over here. Going to delete the alert box. We're going to paste as a linked source. There we go. Excellent. Wow, chat, good job comboing. You guys usually don't even get above two times combo. Also, Cross Crescent Creed. Yo, you've been subscribed over on Twitch for 2 years. Holy shit, I've known so many of you guys for a long time. Like, thanks for being here, you know? Aw, irked. We comboing, we trying. How you all doing, folks? Sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I went and played D&D instead. And I had a really good time. It was a good call, and I needed it. Thoysome!
Asterisk Thoysome asterisk gifted asterisk 5 tier 1 asterisk subscriptions.
Thanks for the 5 tier 1 subs. God damn, Thoysome. I haven't even said you guys get anything for subscribing yet today. And you do. Just saying, I just haven't put the text on screen yet. I did have a life instead of dancing for you guys. I was DMing. I'm right now. I'm in the middle of DMing Curse of Strahd. For any of you who've done that campaign in D&D, I'm having a really good time. I have a bunch of like relatively new players. One of whom's like a forever DM who's finally getting a chance to play. And I usually don't run pre-made adventures, but Curse of Strahd has been really, really like well made so far. Like I have Dance for Us. I've been running it, and I feel like the second session is when they kind of got more into it, and they finally reached the town of Barovia. And one of my players said that session felt like the movie Annihilation, which is one of the biggest compliments I've ever had for running a D&D campaign. And And the session I ran yesterday was like Haunting of Hill House. Because I'm running the Death House module with some pretty substantial changes to make it like a bit creepier and a bit more connected to the like rest of the module. If any of my players are watching, stop watching now. Give them 10 seconds or so. But yeah, it's just been a really good time. I'm really looking forward to it. In the module as written at the end of Death House, there's like this ritual chamber, and they can either sacrifice a living creature on an altar and then be able to leave the house unharmed, or they refuse the ghosts of the cult and then have to fight a shambling mound, which doesn't really seem to fit with the whole Curse of Strahd thing going on. And it also just seemed not very... It didn't really seem to play much into the delusion of the cult that is in Death House. Like, the cultists believe that Strahd von Zarovich is a god. And so, like, I just sat for a while and I thought kind of like, what would a cult, like, aspire to do, right? Well, so I figured that for the most part, like, they're a bunch of kooks. They're a bunch of kooky nutters. Their rituals are bogus, but the pain they inflict is real. The torture they did was real. And so I figured that perhaps there would be some kind of twisted mockery on a shambling mound. And what I figured was that in the module as written, like the family is led by Gustav, a man named Gustav Durst. And so I was like, well, you know, let's do a little something else. So in the module, Gustav and Elizabeth Durst like just turn into kind of like powerful, like quasi-vampire monsters. And I feel is he a goose? No. He's like a quasi-vampire creature. But I feel like it made more sense for one of them to be a quasi-vampire and the other one to have like fused themselves with the beast that they were feeding in their basement with all of their victims. And so at the end of this this death house, instead of just encountering Logarth the Defiler, I think it's called, they're going to encounter Lady von Zarovich, like just completely delusional Elizabeth Durst, like managed to fuse herself partially with this shambling mound made of flesh, and now believes herself to be the wife of Strahd von Zarovich, which plays into like the delusions of the cult. Like it has what I think would be like an interesting design in my head to like describe, where like the flesh kind of becomes like a dress almost. And I think that then makes more sense for why Strahd might take special interest in the party going forward should they make it through Death House, because like he despises the cult but like has better things to do with his time than like deal with like this weird abomination that lives in someone's basement, you know? And so like them killing this thing and putting this miserable house and family to rest would then draw his attention and be like, thank you. I'm now going to pay far more attention to you than I have. And I think that will be a far more interesting thing. And I think it will help to really sell that Strahd at the beginning of this campaign, even though he's like the big bad guy, is like trying his damnedest to like figure out new things to try in kind of this eternal prison he's trapped in. Plus, he just wants to project himself as like this regal nobleman, you know? And so, like, this is something that gets the party, at least temporarily, in his good graces, and allows for an interesting first encounter. My idea being that if they get through this, he's going to appear and thank them, and like, as part of his thanks, he's going to very generously offer them anything that is within his power to provide them. And I think that could be really, really fun and interesting. Like, they know they've heard his name before. And they've, like, they know from other people that he's horribly evil. And so I'm wondering what they would ask of Strahd, you know? And I feel like whatever the outcome of that, it's going to be very fun to deal with kind of the consequences, right? Like, one of the more obvious things, like, could you kill yourself, please? And then Strahd just goes, why, certainly, and, like, slits his own throat, only to, like, you know, not die because he's a vampire. Or... You know, there are just a lot of possibilities there. Or they could ask for something that's just genuinely rude, in which case, like, it angers him and, like, he tries to teach them a lesson. You know, which, you know, I feel like the outcomes are all positive in terms of dramatic effect. Anyway, I've been rambling for a while now. About D&D. I'm sorry. We have a show to do. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, there's a show to do. So there's a lot of news going around. A lot of people have come down with a bad case of the news. Dang, that's good. I'm too bad at storytelling to DM again. You know, Gamer G, you don't need to be good at storytelling. You just need to be good at, like, improvising, you know? We've got a show to do. Tom DeLonge in the Hearts All Gone video clip. Okay. Let's see here. I wanted to open up with this just because it's kind of fun. So, how many of you didn't know that Cary Grant was gay? I didn't know that Cary Grant was gay. So this has been a surprising Pride Month for me. I always liked him in movies, but I really like the fact that I now know he definitely hooked up with men. So apparently he's so gay. Yeah. First of all, you all should follow Matt Baum on Twitter. He does a lot of LGBTQ history on YouTube and on Twitter. Very much recommend. Apparently in 1940, a movie released called My Favorite Wife, in which Cary Grant like just stares at another actor named Randolph Scott. And basically everyone in Hollywood knew that these two actors were hooking up. and we're just gonna watch this scene real quick. Like, he does everything except for the bottom lip bite in the reaction shots here. Just whoa. Gotta pat down my face over here at this manly man. Oh. Just like, does he do a key smash too? I mean, like, in the 1940s, this is basically a key smash, okay? And like, he's just like, oh god. Wait, no, he does do the lip bite. Look. Yep, okay, nope, yep. He's doing a little bit of the lip bite. Excellent. Cary Grant, indeed. Catching rings midair like that is impressive. I agree. I mean, he was doing impressive shit. Cary Grant had an affair with Howard Hughes? Really? Wow. See, this is why I love, like, following Matt Baum, because Matt, like, talks a lot about this kind of stuff. And by follow him, I mean I'm going to follow him now. I already follow him on YouTube. There we go. And you should all follow him too. Here's a handy link for you guys. Educate yourself. There you go. All right. I also have a meme for you guys. Do you guys like memes? I hear you like memes. Following celebrities are gay. You? Oh no, I've been found out. I'm now a celebrity. I don't think I qualify as that, but thank you. Do you guys like memes? I just need to know. If you don't, we can just move on. We don't gotta do memes. Here we go.
Got an offer for you, Patty.
Turn around now and slide right back into your ride.
Careful, Padre.
Just go. You might feel a little discomfort.
Too bad we ain't staying the night. Nice choice, Bug.
Coming through! Hey, what are you doing?
It's okay! I'm a limo driver!
You got any notion of this? You pulled me in too.
Pardon me, Mr. Perfect! I forgot that you never ever make a mistake!
It was a terrible mistake, sir. Please, oh, believe me, I would never do anything to offend a man of your size.
There's a personality construct on that shard. The terrorist.
It's in my head!
Omega blockers. They should keep that guest of yours calm, quiet.
1/2 teaspoon for fast, effective relief.
I am a fugitive. I am hunted.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. Yeah! Hey, guys.
Hey, there you are.
Well, see you later.
Everyone listen up. This is a fucking robbery. Wallets on the table!
You're trying to trip me up.
Number 303. Knock 4 times.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
God. I love these edits so much. They're so good. They're so good. All right, real talk. This is actually important. Oh, now I'm Reddick. I'm sorry you got fired today. That sucks. Only the good ones. Oh, I hope this counted as a good one. But Nam Reddick, I hope you'll find a better one. You'll find some place that makes you happier and more money. Is that DuckTales with real ducks? We've listened to it before, but if you guys want to listen to it again. This is a track by Amy Waters. Another channel I would suggest you all follow, by the way. Here you go. Oh, Nom Reddick. People are 10-letter names offering you a sub over on riverboat.gg. It's really kind of you. I can never do the woo part. Hey, Mudge is my pudge. Or Mudge is my pug, my bad. It's real chill. Again, go check out Amy Waters, trans musician, very talented. You know, get out there, you crazy kids. And folks, here we're gonna get into the first real news story of the day. Are you guys excited? Because it's about Greenland, baby.
6 years of work, the world's biggest island has finally unveiled a draft for its constitution. Greenland occupies a vital strategic location in the North Atlantic and gained autonomy from Denmark in 1979. But the former colonial power still has control of the island's most important affairs. As special correspondent Malcolm Brabant reports, Greenlanders are now seeking greater influence in the world and a future free of Denmark.
In Greenland's
freedom,
settlements, the clamor to break free is intensifying. 200 years after Greenland was dragooned.
There are like 30,000 people in Greenland, and you know what? The fact that they continue to exist in Greenland, and I think they've earned the right to just like, you know, wait out the climate apocalypse and like live in their little paradise land that's going to exist up there, okay?
Into the Kingdom of Denmark. Its draft constitution reflects the frustrations of the predominantly Inuit people on top of the world.
We are trying to break from the colonial chains.
Aki-Matilda Høgh-Dam is one of 2 lawmakers representing Greenland in the Danish parliament.
In the end, it has nothing to do with you in Denmark that we are acting this way. It has everything to do with us wanting to move forward in our lives.
In May, Høgh-Dam caused outrage by refusing to speak Danish during a parliamentary debate, just feet from Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen.
Let me once again encourage you to read your speech in Danish.
Why
did you do it?
I did it to demonstrate the inequality of the systems that we have. So people keep telling me that there is a community, that it's a realm that where people are intertwined and interconnected, and we have the same language, the same culture, and everyone knows that's not true.
What sort of backlash have you had from that?
I've received a lot of backlash for it. So people are not used to, especially people from Denmark, are not used to anyone speaking other than Danish in the Danish parliament. So a lot of hate mails, a lot of harassment in general.
Imagine getting harassed, like I don't know. Imagine getting harassed because you think Greenland should be its own state when it exists, like, I don't know, a few thousand miles away from Denmark. You know, like
80% of Greenland covered in ice. It's a barometer for climate change. But as glaciers retreat
yeah, they
because
are
of global
irked.
warming, the temperature between Greenland and Denmark's capital, Copenhagen, is chilling. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen.
As we all live under the same sun, we live all under different conditions, but have all the same goal. We aim for a future for our children and future generations.
Danish Queen Margrethe's realm includes Greenland, which relies on an annual handout from Denmark of more than $500 million. But in the draft constitution, Greenland envisages complete independence, and there's no mention of keeping the Danish monarch as head of state.
Good.
Everyone is welcome to our beautiful country.
Monarchy is the fact that monarchy as an institution continues to exist is fucking insane to me. It's 2023. The fact that we have any, like, well, you know, the reign of Queen Margaret extends all the way to Greenland. That's an insane sentence to hear in 2023. Give them democracy, you ancient inbred fucks.
If you respect and listen to us, when the focus is on Greenland and the Arctic, it must be on our terms. You are welcome to have an opinion, but decision concerning Greenland and Arctic must be made by us, the indigenous people, and people who have Arctic as their home.
10-letter name, yes. Generally, throughout the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages, the concept of the divine right of kings kind of came to be like very much a unifying belief, whereby God made the king because God wants the king, that specific king, to be in charge, and who are you to defy God? And there were similar beliefs in like Japan, where it wasn't it was even more explicit, right? Where like in Japan the emperor was God. That's exactly what evangelicals said about Trump. Yeah, no, it's exactly like the divine right of kings, by the way, is so deeply entrenched in our society. Like, that you'll see it in like movies for children and stuff. It's weird. It's weird stuff. Yeah, China, Egypt, it's a recurring thing. And really what differentiated the Middle Ages and like in Europe was just that it moved slightly farther away where, well, the king isn't God, but he was appointed by God. So yeah, mandate of heaven. Exactly. But like you'll still see it in Star Wars, this concept of like a chosen bloodline being like the thing that saves everyone and unifies everybody together. That concept is still weirdly alive and well, and it's partly why I hated the new Star Wars movies so intensely. Yeah, exactly, Shaloon. It's embedded in fantasy. What's interesting about that to me, right, is that a lot of fantasy, like, I feel like, okay, I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but if you're going to have, like, a medieval type of fantasy, right, there should be a challenge to the concept of monarchy built into your setting. A challenge to the divine right of kings, a challenge to that. And most fantasy settings that I've seen, a lot of them, and it also happens in sci-fi, a lot of them don't really grapple with that at all. Instead, they're like, well, the problem is the right bloodline isn't in charge. And once we get the rightful king on the throne, all will be well. You know? Yeah, Diamond Dynamo, exactly! That's why Episode 8, The Last Jedi, was the best one of the new movies. In fact, I would put it right up there with the originals. Like, it was genuinely really good. Because it understood the ending of Return of the Jedi. And Return of the Jedi was so good, specifically because Luke Skywalker fails. He fails in his mission, and all is lost, and he is not this chosen special boy, you know? He fails the Emperor's test. And so many people just want to not really grapple with that. The challenge was for Luke not to succumb to the dark side, and he did. He tried to use his rage to strike down his father, and, like, that was exactly what was supposed to happen, you know? It was only by not fighting through a radical act of love that he was able to be victorious. I think that's a really wonderful... I think it's a really wonderful way to, like, subvert genre expectations, frankly. And I feel like a lot of people just found it very unsatisfying. Which is why they wanted Luke Skywalker to be, like, the bestest laser sword boy. Anyway, sorry. Divine Right of Kings is garbage. Let's excise it from our fiction, and if we must use it for our fiction, let's shit all over it. That's my 2 cents for the day.
There are just over 57,000 Greenlanders, making their nation the most sparsely populated in the world. Greenland has limited self-rule, and there's widespread resentment at being regarded as second-class citizens by the Danes. For many Greenlanders, divorce can't come quickly enough.
I think this is inevitable.
Veteran diplomat Michael Zilmer-Jons used to be Denmark's ambassador to NATO.
I just hope that we can find a model where it would not be like, you know, a hard Brexit, where we could create a new community, a new Commonwealth together.
Under the current arrangement, Denmark is responsible for Greenland's defence, foreign affairs and monetary policy, and it's reluctant to cede control. Are you concerned that if Greenland does break away, that it may become vulnerable to so-called predator states like China and also Russia?
Yes, and this is why I think it's very important for Greenland, but also for us and for the United States, that we find a model where Greenland will not be just a battlefield for competing big powers, but has us as a guarantor and remain member of NATO and so on.
The United States has had a strong military presence since 1943, when the Tula Air Base was built in northwest Greenland. For decades, anti-Americanism festered in Greenland, not least because indigenous people were forced out of their homes to accommodate Tula. But attitudes have changed following Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
I think the most important effect of the Ukraine war in the first place has been for all of the Greenlandic political spectrum to kind of assure that we're part of the West.
Ulrik Pram-Gad is a Greenland expert at the Danish Institute for International Studies.
The US can rest assured that whatever happens, independence or not, Greenland wants to be a part of NATO. So in that sense, there's been a shift of positions in Greenlandic politics.
Russia's volatility means that Greenland's strategic role in US defense is perhaps more important now than during the Cold War. Catastrophic Russian armored losses in Ukraine resulted in a solitary Second World War tank garnishing the annual victory parade in Moscow. But Russia's nuclear arsenal remains as strong as ever, and in the hands of a leader who's more unpredictable than his Soviet predecessors. The potential threat from rogue states is why the US has been upgrading missile defense systems at Tula in recent years. In April, Tula was renamed the Pitofik Space Base in recognition of Greenland's contribution to American and Western security.
Any missile coming in across, Eurasian vectors will be passing over the Arctic region. And so having a network of
It's pretty
sensors
close,
as
Cross-Crescent
far north
Creed.
as possible is vitally important.
Dr. Rebecca Pincus is director of the Polar Institute in Washington and an expert on Arctic geopolitics and security.
With the advent of new generations of intercontinental both missiles and platforms, including hypersonics, those far northern locations for early warning are even more important.
Pincus believes that Greenland is now entering a new era in which it can leverage its increased strategic importance to extract more financial support from Western nations, anxious to prevent China or Russia from exploiting Greenland's mineral wealth.
Too many of the decisions in the past were not adequately made with the involvement of Greenlanders. They did not have enough agency.
Yeah, so basically 10-letter name, Greenland is strategically positioned within the Arctic Circle to be an incredibly important location for like air defense reasons, for sea defense reasons, and those are only going to become more important as the ice caps melt, as like an Arctic passage opens up due to the warming of the climate. And as the ice melts, it's also going to reveal a lot of previously hidden mineral wealth that's been locked up in Iceland. So essentially, going forward, like every year, Greenland becomes more valuable real estate, and it's not inconceivable that it would become like one of the wealthiest places on the planet. Obviously, probably not in our lifetimes, but like, 2-3 generations from now, definitely could be if things go as they've been going. It's just positioned very, very well in that regard. It'll reveal the ancient aliens, of course. Yeah. Metal Kitty Mom, hello! We're learning about Greenland. Greenland is trying to vie for independence from Denmark. Has a new draft constitution and everything.
That is changing, and we will never go back to the way things were.
In 2019, President Trump's offer to buy Greenland was ridiculed, but Ulrich Pramgad has a suggestion.
I gotta be honest with you guys. That's possibly one of, like, the least dumb things that Donald Trump has done, or did do, while president. Like, if we were able to buy Greenland, and that's not inconceivable given the fact that we bought Alaska in, like, the 50s. Like, if we were able to buy Greenland, that would be, like, future-proofing America, in a sense.
The U.S. could perhaps buy Greenland in the sense that if a lot of American investments arose, then naturally Greenland would orient itself closer to the U.S.
If Greenland does secure full independence,
no, you're
some
thinking of a
experts
different
believe that
state, One Hand
Denmark's
Wonder.
importance in the world will diminish.
Instead of saying Greenland needs Denmark and saying, well, Denmark actually kind of needs Greenland as well, we can say, then let's just create an equal society if we look at the systematics of it, that how the democracy is, instead of just pointing fingers at each other.
Politicians like Herdam would like to see independence secured by 2030, but that target could fall victim to long and difficult divorce negotiations. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Malcolm Brabant.
Yeah, let's see if I can find a good map here. Yeah, here we go. So this should illustrate a bit better why Denmark is so important, right? So this is a map from the top of the world of the Arctic regions. The North Pole is in the center, and then you have the Arctic Ocean, right? Alaska and Russia very close to one another. Denmark is colossal here, and this obviously this doesn't account for any sea ice or anything like that. But would Greenland get to become a state before DC? I mean, honestly, probably. Like, Denmark is very large, chat. Like, or not Denmark, Greenland. My bad. Greenland size comparison. Like, chat. This is how big Greenland is. Okay, like it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Like it's as big as the entire like East Coast combined. Like yeah, it would probably become a state. I'm just throwing it out there. It would probably become a state, you know, within a bunch of years, you know, at the very least. It would probably be like some kind of provisional territory at first. Does it? I thought they were mostly indigenous. Yeah, Greenland is mostly indigenous. It does have a sizable number of white people as well, mostly from like Danish, Icelandic immigrants, Canadian immigrants as well. I thought Greenland was deceptively small because the flat rectangle maps distort size based on proximity to the equator. It does, but Greenland is actually very big. Wait, I thought Greenland was deceptively small because... Yes, sorry. Yes, I misread yours. But yeah, most of Greenland is uninhabitable. Here, let's see if we can find a good map here. Yes. Basically, so there's a region of Greenland called the Great Greenland Ice Sheet, and that covers 80% of the landmass. Entrama, thank you for subscribing. I hope you're doing okay. Let's see, can I find a map here? Yeah. Okay. So if that entire ice sheet were to melt, chat, this is roughly what it would look like. The middle section of the country would be, you know, a low-lying lake-like region, completely surrounded by land. But like, it's big. It's big, dude. Ah, shit. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, Entrama. And a mass shooting. Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, breaking news, everybody. Multiple injuries reported in shooting after high school graduation in Richmond, Virginia. Ceremony for Huguenot High School taking place at the Atria Theater in Richmond just before the shooting. Jesus. Yep, it took place in the Monroe Park. Let's see. Multiple injuries reported in shooting. No immediate threat to the public. That means either they have them in custody or killed the shooter on the site. No, it's not always right-wing states, Catalina Gearbox. I mean, all of these shootings are unfortunate, regardless of where they occur. Yeah, this one doesn't have... Not a whole lot of information on this one. They apprehended 2 people? Jesus. Just gonna Google this real quick. News. 16 minutes ago. 7 shot, 2 arrested at graduation ceremony. Yeah, always keep in mind with these folks that the info that comes out right away is usually very, very dubious at best. Multiple people have been shot and wounded at high school graduation ceremony being held at Virginia Commonwealth University's Monroe Park campus. Reports from Richmond say at least 4 victims and that dozens of loud bangs were heard at the Altria Theater on Tuesday. Conditions are unknown. Authorities say the shooting started at 5:13 p.m. Eastern Time, with 7 people suffering gunshot injuries. Of those, 3 suffered life-threatening injuries and 4 suffered life-threatening injuries. 5 others went to the hospital with non-gunshot injuries. 2 people have been arrested.
Our affiliate, Scripps News Richmond, reporting that a number of people have been shot at a high school graduation. There are reports of at least 4 victims. It reportedly happened at a theater on the campus of VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. A number of high schools in the Richmond area use that very same theater for graduations. We'll continue to follow the story and bring you updates as they happen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Good, good.
Seems like they have apprehended everyone involved here. Okay. Jesus. Well, that is horrible. I don't have any more updates for you guys at this time. But we'll definitely check back in. Let's see, just real quick. Anyway, obligatory, no way to prevent this, says only nation where this regularly happens. Jeez. We could do things about this, chat. We could do things. We could take action that reduces the statistical likelihood of this happening. You know? We could make it a lot harder for events like this to happen, and instead, we just say, fuck it. Thoughts and prayers. Hope you like having a dead child in your family. Literally, we couldn't even get bump stocks, like, taken off the market. We couldn't... we couldn't even do that, you know? Tattersale, if you're looking for the site, chat, there you go. There's a link to it right there. On a bright note, I just had the best chimichanga. Well, I'm really glad about that. Oh my God, I finally get the GOP's agenda. I don't think any of us do, you know. Hey, no problem, Tattersale. I got you. Hey, Quasi-Spec. Did I take the dialect test going around? I did not. What is it? Does it just determine what your dialect is? They want to limit abortions to make up for all the children lost to gun violence. Also, fuck the GOP so hard. I don't think it's that. I got to be honest with you. I think that attributes too much planning to the GOP. I think that actually it attributes too much coordinated effort on their part, you know? And we'll get to why I think that in a bit. Yeah. Was the angry sarcasm not implied enough? Well, I'm too autistic for that. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I just don't have the Eric Andre gift handy. Oh, gotcha. All right, we're going to move on. Okay. So, folks, now many of you, as you know, follow me on Twitter. And as you know, I follow an account called Chuds of TikTok. And about 7 months ago, I recall vaguely a post about a Christian evangelical talking about porn that graced that wonderful Twitter account. Okay, and it's fucking crazy. We're gonna watch it because. Do I have a tale to tell you guys about this this young Christian man who has 300,000 followers on TikTok? So here we go. We're gonna watch his first video here. Okay.
Actually, completely stop watching porn and stop playing around with it. The porn I was watching gradually as I watched it over the years upon years, it just kind of got darker and darker into whack stuff I never thought I'd be watching. And I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there that are watching some porn that is something you never ever thought you'd be watching. 6th grade, the porn, I jumped into some weird categories, man. This is tough. Transgenders having sex with chicks. And why am I watching this stuff? Well, because I'm opening myself up to spirits and spirits the more I watch the porn, and I don't even realize it.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. Okay? A lot of Christians believe that if they are, like, attracted to trans people, or they are attracted to, like, other men or other women, they believe that that is not their feeling. They believe that a demon or a spirit is acting upon them. Oh, one-hand wonder, it's so much worse than that, but we'll get to it.
You know, and as it gradually goes, it gets darker. And I was watching transgenders having sex with, like, transgenders, and then dudes, and I'm like, why am I watching this stuff? Eventually, the porn's not going to be enough. Just like Ted Bundy, eventually the porn wasn't enough for Ted Bundy. And he started actually doing the acts, and I started doing the acts. Never ever thought I'd be doing something like that. You know what I'm saying? And,
You know, it's really interesting that he's comparing himself to Ted Bundy.
That's my quick, short testimony on porn and how it just dragged me to a dark place. But know this, there's good news at the end of this. Jesus found me, I found Jesus. I started to develop a relationship with Jesus. I realized that porn was in between me and God. And that I had to take a spear and shove it down the heart of porn and kill it in order to get to Jesus. Because if I left it there, and God, I'm sorry, here I go.
That's some really interesting and violent imagery you're using there.
God, I'm sorry, it's still there, right? I have to kill it by stopping.
Amen, dude. And powerful testimony, dude. It takes a lot of strength to bring sin to light.
Not gonna lie, both these guys look like they're like 5 seconds away from nutting.
Yes.
And it's just so powerful, and I just commend you so much for that. I'm serious.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it. Foreign language for me to admit stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
But this won't go on. It's a weight lifted off, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, bro.
You've done what you needed to do.
Wow. I wonder if he has any other really weird TikToks. Here's one from June 2nd. Let's check back in with him, okay?
This is going to be hard to believe. That's why I'm going to pull out the credentials. I was about to film a TikTok, and a legit demon pulled up on me.
Oh my
Here's
god.
the video.
A real demon?
You asked me if I want to suck you off? You know who you need is Jesus Christ, bro, and you need to repent. No, I'm serious, man. You don't just pull up on someone and say, do you want to suck me off?
The slow,
you need Jesus
the slow
Christ.
back
You
up.
don't repent, go to hell.
The message that I was giving was about...
Yo, bro gets catcalled once. Invokes the name of the Lord.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. This is going to be hard to believe.
Yeah, you can just say no. You know, you didn't have a gun to your head. Anyway, let's keep looking.
I walked up to two young kids in the gym, and I said to them,
Interesting language. Maybe keep that in mind as we go forward.
well, I say young, they're probably 18, 19, 20 years old, same age as me. And I said to them, do you believe in God? Well, they said yes. I said, so you believe in Jesus? They said, yeah, of course. I said, if he came back today, do you think your lives are honoring him? They both were caught off guard, as most people would be. They said, well, I hope so, I don't know. Why not honor God? If Jesus came back right now, and you heard this 1,000 times, yet your life still doesn't honor God, yet you're still cussing, yet you're still going out to the bars, yet drinking, yet you're still watching the porn. Guys, I'm not coming at you to attack you. I'm coming at you because you know these things are wrong in your life. And it says...
Yeah, Big Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia energy, you know? Give him 13 seasons. I'm sure he'll be performing like a beautiful ballet that makes us all cry, okay?
In the letters that Paul wrote, judge other people who are walking in fellowship with God so they can be convicted.
Yeah, Jesus drank alcohol. He literally made alcohol for a party. Also, Jesus literally cursed a fig tree. Like, he cursed it out so badly that it would never procreate again. So, like, I don't even know if he's really anti-cussing, to be honest with you guys.
And then he said, when Paul said that there was a person in the church sleeping with his stepmother in Corinthians chapter 5, that they threw him out of the church to Satan so that on the day the Lord Jesus came back, he would be ready for that. It is so important as Christians to wake each other up. And I say this with urgency. Urgency!
He got the crazy eyes.
Because everyone is lukewarm. Everyone except very few.
Interesting. How do you know that the Apostle Luke was warm? How do you know?
Stop
Getting close to him?
Stop being lukewarm.
Sounds gay.
Make God bigger priority in your life now. And you'll feel the love and mercy from God. In Jesus' name, God bless.
Just crazy fucking eyes, dude.
Bless
you. These people are not doing well. Like even like to some evangelicals, guys, Catholics are literally agents of the devil.
This is heresy, the rosary. The rosary is heresy. Mother Mary is nothing. It's about knowing Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you, you cannot exalt Mary. You cannot exalt Mary. Get out! You can't exalt Mary. Run from Catholicism. The rosary, and Jesus tells us to sway away from repetitive prayer. This is real heresy. And the real problem going around right now is
the churches with this religion and this churchianity, and they're not even going to the biblical way of doing it.
Man, this guy really seems like he has a moral high ground. I hope there's nothing coming that takes that away from him.
Phone watching porn, and they're just laughing and mocking and praising the devil because they see you falling susceptible to something that's going to take you away from God. And God's sitting there, Jesus is sitting there, who died and was crucified on the cross, tortured, beaten, and he's grieving and crying because he knows you're being stolen away.
When you're suffering with these things, you have already committed the act. You have already sinned, but your next step is obvious. We must repent. We must turn from those ways.
This is what happens, by the way, when you like raise your kid, telling them that if you like, if they like even touch their penis while peeing, it's going to make Jesus cry. This is what happens, chat. Like, it messes them the fuck up.
That does not mean continue to go back to it. We make a full 180. We agree and come to the truth that we have done wrong and rebelled against God. We cannot take God's grace for granted. We cannot turn back into these ways. If we love Jesus, if we love Christ, we will keep his commandments true. We will not go back into sin if we truly love him.
God will forgive you. Stop. Stop tonight. The hard truth about...
Anyway, here's an interesting video posted earlier today. Or not earlier today, but just a little bit ago.
When I was 18 years old, I had a Snapchat that I Snapchatted younger girls on because I got off to flirting with younger girls in a sexual way. Shortly after that, I began watching and going on a grinder to hook up with transgenders because I got off to these things. I hired prostitutes that were transgenders. I had sex with many women. I used to watch murder porn, and when I was having sex with my wife, who I falsely married ourselves to justify sex, because I had watched pornography of strangulation and murder, I used to, in my mind, close my eyes and think about killing her while I was having sex with her and get off to these things. I tell you these things because time is running out, and I don't care if I'm perceived as a pedophile, homosexual, murderer. If it helps you understand that anyone can come to God and come home and be forgiven and turn from this lifestyle, then come home and use me as a foolish example to come back to Christ.
Bro, that's all on you. That is literally all on you. Okay? Most people don't watch pornography and then fantasize about murdering their wife. That's not a thing people do. Chad, he literally just talked about fantasizing about murdering his wife while also at the same time, like, air quotesing and calling her his fake wife because they got married to have sex. Like, what is wrong with you? It's not the pornography, my guy. Like, people can struggle with porn addiction. That's absolutely a thing. But, like, porn addiction doesn't make you want to strangle your loved ones. He also talked about specifically targeting young girls. So, like, how young are we talking here? Okay? Because in an earlier video from this year, he talked about being, like 20 years old. How much younger has to be a young girl compared to a 20-year-old? Like, and not only that, he's like, I like, he hooked up with like trans prostitutes, and so like, that's not the fault of, like, trans people for existing, bruh. You chose to do that. Yo, this guy literally compared himself to Ted Bundy, chat. You saw that in the earlier video, right? He compared himself and the things he was thinking and feeling to Ted Bundy. Like, in waiting irked? I mean, I'm not willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, to be honest with you guys. Hope he didn't strangle any of them. Well, you know, let's just look back at this one that he went viral for, huh?
This is why I had to actually completely stop watching porn and stop playing
Now that you know the context for this video.
around with it. The porn I was watching gradually as I watched it over the years upon years, it just kind of got darker and darker into whack stuff I never thought I'd be watching.
Now, the first time you watch it, you're like, oh, he's probably just talking about dudes banging each other. And now you know that he was talking about murder porn. He was watching snuff films, chat.
And I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there that are watching some porn that is something you never ever thought you'd be watching. 6th grade, the porn, I jumped into some weird categories, man. This is tough. Transgenders having sex with chicks. And why am I watching this stuff? Well, because I'm opening myself up to spirits and spirits the more I watch the porn, and I don't even realize it. You know, and as it gradually goes, it gets darker. And I was watching transgenders having sex with like transgenders and then dudes, and I'm like, why am I watching this stuff? Eventually, the porn's not going to be enough. Just like Ted Bundy, eventually the porn wasn't enough for Ted Bundy. And he started actually doing...
Just like Ted Bundy, huh? Just like Ted Bundy, huh?
Of strangulations. I had sex with many women. I used to watch murder porn, and when I was having sex with my wife, who I falsely married ourselves to justify sex, because I had watched pornography of strangulation and murder, I used to, in my mind, close my eyes and think about killing her while I was having sex with her and get off to these things.
Well, you know, best of luck to her, and I hope that she sends a nice little, like, fruit basket to her soon-to-be or currently ex-husband, because this video evidence that's going to live on the internet forever very clearly demonstrates why she should get 100% of everything he owns. Yo, dude. Dude. I hope, no, like, genuinely, chat. If he is still married to her, to anybody, they need to get out, like, today. Who the fuck has money for hookers in their 20s? Well, this guy has, like, 300,000 followers on TikTok, so I'm guessing you can monetize that in some way. My partner made a TikTok about how he fantasized about strangling me. I'd cut and run. Yo, yeah, no, like 100%. Like, you cannot be safe if your partner is literally fantasizing about murdering you. That's not like a we're going to work out our issues type thing. That's a you need to get out. BRB, chat. Hello, nerds! Also, Tatter's Sale. If you want to get to the Discord, riverboat.gg/Discord. There you go. Hey, Stoudman. Hello, Mana King. Hello, Urked. Hello, Crust Crescent Creed. Hello, Odidums. Hello, Quasi Spec. Hello, Metal Kitty Mom. Hello, Catalina Gearbox. Hello, Punky Gal. Hello, Holly Hoomst. Hello, Thoysome. Hello, Shaloon. Hello, Kalu Kalay. It is indeed a brand new day. How we all doing, folks? It's true. She back, baby. Started watching Manifest yesterday. Is it good, Metal Kitty Mom? I feel like there have been so many shows that have come out like over like the last 7-ish years that I just like had like a name where I just thought it sounded kind of generic and never really paid it any attention. That was one of them, but I'm glad that you are finding it good. Maybe I'll check it out. Hey, Lizzie Nepon. It's so good. Right now I'm watching Umbrella Academy. I'm on the 2nd season. It's also a really good show. So excited for the new RuneScape skill. What's exciting about the new skill? Also, sorry I was gone for so long. Hope you will forgive me. RuneScape has a combat triangle? Yeah. Rue. Shoot. Shoot, Rue. Shoot. It's a standalone combat style with skilling shit like Magic has. Neat. You will love this. I will not. I will continue to move through the content we have for today. Because maybe, if I make it to the end of it, I'll be able to play Hollow Knight. Or watch more Star Trek. I saw a tweet thread from Themperor Kennedy. I don't know who that is. Truly oppressed people don't defend themselves. Women aren't aggressive, but trans women are. Like, yeah, Stoudman, things have been fucking insane in regards to, like, trans discourse in particular. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, we got okay. Here we go. Nope. There we go. Boom. We did it. Hello, Comrade Scrungus. How you feeling today? Extra scrungly? Just assumed it was a potty break? Nah, I had to go say hello to Clarice, who just got home. And then I had to talk a little bit about how my therapy session went. No one has been given rights by sitting back and being quiet. Exactly, Odidums. Exactly. You know, the saying is the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and by God, some people need some grease. Now, folks, God, I did not format this correctly. There we go. Let's go with that. That is appropriate. Boom. Also outline in black. There we go. And then we'll copy it and put it on this page. And we'll paste it as a linked source so we don't have to change. Excellent. Cool. Hello. Hey, do you want to watch Star Trek on stream while I play Hollow Knight? You bet your ass you do. If you guys get to 20 subs, we'll do that. Anyway, moving on. Also, if you're going to gift subs, please do so on riverboat.gg, my streaming site. There are no ads over there. You can get there and be a member for free. But if you gift subs over there, people get a nifty little name that is a different color. And they also get the ability to post additional emotes. And I get to keep 100% of the sub cost that you throw my way, instead of having to split it 50-50 with Twitch or 70-30 with YouTube. So come on over, you goofy goobers. Which is the next trek? We'll be watching, I believe we're on episode 5? I think we're on episode 5 of Star Trek Discovery, season 1. Or not Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Okay. Also, hey, chat, look at this. As Eddie Izzard, very famous comedian, performer, tweeted out, as people may now well know, I've added the name Susie to my names. So going forward, I'm preferring Susie, but I don't mind Eddie. And I prefer she, her, but I don't mind he, him. So no one can really get it wrong unless they call me Kenneth or Sabrina. I am remaining Eddie Izzard in public. Thank you. Susie/Eddie. Which, you know, that's a pretty classy way to come out. You know? Congratulations to Susie Izzard. Didn't she support Rowling? I don't think so. Maybe Ricky Gervais? Here, you know what? We'll look it up. Susie, wait, probably Eddie Izzard, J.K. Rowling. Okay, when was this published? Hate the idea we are fighting between ourselves, but it's not going to be sorted with the wave of a wand. I don't have all the answers, Izzard told the Telegraph. When was this published? It doesn't have a publication date. I hate that. Okay. Izzard recently announced she is gender fluid. Interview with the Telegraph. Izzard said she followed the controversy but doesn't believe Rowling is transphobic. Let's see. I don't think J.K. Rowling is transphobic. I think we need to look at the things she has written about in her blog. Women have been through such hell over history. Trans people have been invisible too. I hate the idea that we are fighting between ourselves, but it's not going to be sorted with the wave of a wand. I don't have all the answers. If people disagree with me, fine, but why are we going through hell on this? You know, I'm just gonna say Eddie Izzard overall based One bad take does not a horrific person make. But it is an L take, indeed. Look, I don't know that you can read this response that goes, I think we need to look at the things she's written about in her blog. Women have been through such hell over history. Trans people have been invisible too. I hate the idea we are fighting between ourselves, but it's not going to be sorted out with the wave of a wand. I don't have all the answers. If people disagree with me, fine, but why are we going through hell on this? I don't think that is not necessarily a whole, like licking J.K. Rowling's boots, okay? That to me, this seems to be like a pretty okay-ish, if misguided take, you know? I don't know, again, I don't know when this was posted. It doesn't have a... Maybe it has it at the bottom? Wait, maybe. Do we have a fucking date in the metadata? Probably not. Man, this is dumb. God damn it. That's a good idea. Okay, this is from 2021. Okay, absolved. Look, Susie Izzard is old. She's dealing with a lot of shit. She has better things to think about than a childhood, children's book author, okay? I don't know. January 5th, 2021, 11:44 a.m. Yeah. Susie also ran for politics after that and was attacked by TERFs. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, oh, okay, wow. Yeah. LGBTQ people have been around since we were cave people. Jesus. I just want to read. Okay. Fucking hell, dude. Okay. Comic and labor activist Eddie Izzard swipes at J.K. Rowling for wading into heated online rows over trans rights. Yeah, I don't think Susie Izzard supports J.K. Rowling anymore, okay?
You, at the time, sort of defended the backlash that was fronting J.K. Rowling at the time. Is that something you still believe, or has your opinion on that kind of changed now over the past 2 years?
No, it's impossible to say that the best way to go forward is that anyone's got exactly the right answer. What I would say is this: I think J.K. was worried about people who transition and decide they wish to retransition. That is an understandable thing to be worried about. There's also a thing: if people are not allowed to transition, they may self-harm, they may take their own lives. That is the thing to worry about. How do you get the balance between that? Don't know. If you look at the UK rule, it was a 2-year rule. What they're planning in Scotland was taking it down to, in fact, a 6 months rule. What is the perfect length of time? Tricky to work that one out. I have to say, take the the hatred and the exchanges on the internet. But if you think about it, if you go 20 years back,
Wait, there was an edit there. Why?
there was a similar intensity of arguments, discussions, vociferous nature going on between people talking about gay and lesbian. And that was pointed out to me. Remember gay marriage? And people say, oh, you start with gay marriage. Then where are you going to end up with? And we have gone through that and into a much more tranquil waters now, where people are saying it's about love. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about love, people loving each other. Fraud, even though it's quite...
Yeah, another cut. Okay, this is like a weird cut-up statement.
loud, the discussion quite heated, and still, I think we have to go through this to get out the other end to calmer waters on the other side.
I don't think this is... Look, it's not a perfect position, obviously, but like, I don't know, Eddie Izzard... Like, how old is Eddie Izzard? 61 years old. Like, look, here's my take, okay? 61-year-old isn't going to have the best takes, generally speaking. And not only are they not going to have the best takes, but also just like... Nothing that was said in that statement, even just though it was edited twice for some reason, but like, I see someone who's older, not as online, not as chronically brain poisoned as we are, who like looks at the online discourse from time to time and just goes, man, we're really expending a lot of effort fighting each other when we could be fighting together. And like, that is a reasonable... And that's a reasonable feeling. You know, who is she? Susie Izzard, Eddie Izzard, is a well-known stand-up comedian who, like, was famous for doing drag and being pro-trans rights, gender expression. You know, like, was asked in an interview at one point, why do you wear women's clothes? And just responded, you know, I don't wear women's clothes. They're my clothes. I wear them, you know, they're mine. So, yeah. So, look, people aren't going to have the perfect political positions or the perfect political takes at any time in history. A lot of progress has been made regarding trans people in recent years, like really, really rapid pace. And you know what? To bring it to like a smaller example, there are going to be adults walking around today who are like my age, who hear, oh, that guy got the Riz. And they're going to think that that is a stupid thing to say. And they aren't going to like, you know, really latch onto it. They aren't going to really understand it. They're not going to get it. And like, that's fine, you know, as long as they're trying to treat other people with love and respect. And like, I don't see anything in her statements that are really damning in that regard. I think that she's trying to do her best to treat other people with love and respect in a way that is constructive. And hasn't interacted with the online world enough to know that honestly there is no constructive effort that can happen between J.K. Rowling, you know, and trans people. That's not going to happen, not because of anything that trans people are doing, but specifically because J.K. Rowling doubles, triples, quadruples down on hating trans people at any and all opportunity, you know? Like, it's just, it just seems to me like, I know that we want perfect takes from people, but we're never going to get them, you know? Like, I'm going to have takes that you guys disagree with from time to time, And I hope that, like, that's fundamentally okay, and that we can continue to work together as a community to, like, build something that's bigger than any one of us, you know? That's my goal. I'm willing to work with people I disagree with to bring about better policies and a better future, you know? And that's fundamentally what I want to be able to do, and I think demanding ideological purity for that to happen gets in the way of that. And I think that when we judge people like Susie too harshly because they aren't giving us the perfect take that we want, I think that that can sometimes preclude us building something better. It can spurn potential allies who just might not get it yet, you know? Because none of us started off with good takes. I mean, maybe some of us did, but not all of our takes were good, you know? When I first heard the term Riz, I thought it was Ritz at first, and I was like, which one of you bitches has stakes? I mean, honestly, similar, you know? The Ritz used to be, like, fancy, right? Like the GOP? Nani? I just mean, like there, I mean, I can't even begin to count up and tally, like, the number of leftists who will just be like, fuck all of this because, like, one person disagreed with them at some point, and just be like, I'm giving it up. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be fucking apolitical. Good luck, baby. You know, like, it's just so many people just fucking give up because they wind up discovering a little bit later than most that not everyone disagrees with them. And won't agree with them. Or not everyone agrees with them. And won't agree with them, regardless of the argument, you know? I still kind of hate Riz because I'm old. But that was the point I was trying to make. That you're exemplifying it. Excellent. But I was hearing that shit for a while before someone was like, oh, it's just short for charisma? Yeah. Charisma. Oh, it's okay, Tattersale. I'm autistic as fuck. Sometimes jokes from chat bounce off of me because I have a complete inability to tell your tone. Wait, that's what it means? Yeah, it's short for charisma. He got the Riz. He got the Riz, ma. That's dumb. I love it. I love it so much. Now, unfortunately, I am a very rare breed of streamer. I was born with perfect takes. You know, some people get born with a silver spoon in their mouths. I got born with perfect takes in my mouth. Exactly, Material Squirrel, you know? I grew up in a Republican family. I'm used to people disagreeing with me and having bad takes. Hell yeah, Metal Kitty Mom. Get the Rizma, not the Ligma. Aw, Cross Crescent Creed. The con your pants emote isn't Rizless. It's so full of Riz. I'm the anime protagonist of politics streaming. True. I am old and was fine with the word Riz, but now, oh no. I've created a rift. This wasn't even supposed to be a story we spent a ton of time on. I just wanted to say congratulations, Susie Izzard, and move on. And yet, here we are, 20 minutes later. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well done. Y'all are goons. Here, let's, I dare you. I dare you all. I dare you all to turn this, to make me turn this into a 50-minute long segment. You won't.
I say you're pissing too darn loud, boy. It's late at night and you're pissing right in the center of the bowl, like you're frying chicken in there. You gotta piss on the side, boy. Make it a stealth mission. You're causing a whole ruckus pissing like that, boy. I say you're.
I love Foghorn Leghorn so much. And also true. If you're pissing in the middle of the night and someone might wake up, pee on the side of the bowls. You don't wake everyone up with your massive piss. It's piss etiquette. Yeah. Plus, if you wind up being a trans girl, it's excellent stealth etiquette. You want to feel safe in a bathroom? Piss on the side of the bowl, bitch. It's how men assert dominance. Nah, men don't assert dominance that way. I've been in enough men's bathrooms. They just pee on the floor. Sit down helps. It does. But I've never understood that all-seeing dude. If someone, like, why is pissing loud asserting dominance? That doesn't seem like it makes sense. Like, what? Does a loud piss convey that you have a big dick? I don't believe that. I don't think that correlates at all. Okay, it's the confidence. It's the audible riz of bathroom etiquette. Pissing loud just tells me you got piss on your shoes. Yeah. You not on the floor? Men are so gross in bathrooms, guys. It's so nasty. Y'all don't wash your hands. And most of you who do wash your hands, you don't wash them long enough. Fun fact, chat. If you think you're washing your hands long enough, you're probably not. If you go into like an elementary school, okay? And you wash your hands, they got signs in there to like help children wash their hands the appropriate amount of time. And you know what? They tell you got to sing the entire alphabet song in your head while you wash your hands. And that is a long ass time. And I guarantee you 90% of you are not washing your hands that long. Okay? Yes, while men's bathroom... See, here's the thing. I think men's bathrooms are terrible to clean, right? But they're made terrible to clean because men just don't give a shit. Whereas women's restrooms are terrible to clean, not because women don't give a shit, but just because, like, it's messy being a lady. It's messy. There's a lot of things all over the place. Alphabet song is just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Oh my god, it is. Did you guys see Chris Christie is running? I did. Yes. To be clear, Chris Christie is running... Oh, TYT, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. But yes, Chris Christie is running. Hello, Bread into Toast. 25 years, I'll be a mod? Maybe, if you're lucky. Welcome, the Young Turks. Welcome, Raiders. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Riverboat Jack. I talk about the news and politics. Welcome, folks. We got a lot of things to talk about today. And if you would like to support me and my work, come on over to riverboat.gg, which is where the on-screen chat is. Yeah. Also, I'm a trans lady. Happy Pride Month. And I'm bisexual. Hello. Hi. If you got questions about gender, sexuality, politics, I'm a pretty good source of info on those things. I'm predicting Christy West in November. Oh God, Paladin. We have not yet talked about Cornel West announcing that he is running for president. We're getting there. It's not good, chat. It's not a good thing. Did you mention Nick Branagh and the allegations? We haven't talked about it yet, Black and the Borg, but we are absolutely going to be bringing up Nick Branagh and the sexual assault allegations. And we're also going to be talking about Jimmy Dore's involvement. Is Cornel based or cringe? Cornel West has been fairly based, but I feel like he got suckered into this somehow. Anyway, welcome, folks. I'm in a non-traditional venue at the moment, so I'm sorry if the lighting is a bit off or anything, or the sound is a bit wonky. Jimmy Dore, the spitting guy. I don't know of Jimmy Dore spitting on anybody, but maybe. And Bread into Toast, how are you doing, lovely? Let's see. Oh yeah, Jimmy Dore did spit on Alex Jones. That's true. Yes, I do remember that. Dimmy Boar, the Jagoff ex-comedian. God, I don't even know. I don't even think you can really call Jimmy Dore an ex-comedian because that implies he was ever a comedian. Like, I don't know. The idea that that guy ever made people laugh is very, very strange to me. Also, chat, so again, last week we talked a little bit about a rising star in conservative right-wing media, a trans lady by the name of Kelly Cadigan, who had made an abrupt, turn to the left. She had been basically trying to get in on the grift of being, a pick-me trans girl, essentially like a Blair White type who would be talking about, how, other trans girls are crazy and, trans kids shouldn't be allowed to transition, even though she straight up admitted that in a statement last week. But this week it's really interesting. She has a debate, or not a debate. She's going to have a talk with a trans PhD student who's been doing the rounds in conservative media as well, named Nominal Naomi. And she's been going through the ringer because people like Matt Walsh retweeted her breastfeeding her child. Yeah, so Nominal Naomi and Kelly Cadigan are going to be talking to each other later this week, I believe on tomorrow. At 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll definitely be covering that tomorrow because I'm very interested to see how this goes. Now, one of the things we mentioned last week was that in the previous discussion between Naomi and Kelly, Kelly had basically defended slavery as an institution, saying that, some slave owners treated their slaves well. And I gotta say, I was like, oh no, maybe we can't save this one, chat. Chat, she issued an apology. She issued a formal apology. So let's take a look at that, huh?
And I was gonna film this tomorrow, but I just felt like I had to do it right now. I want to start off with the Black community. I know I said it in my last couple of videos, but I really just want to reiterate, I am so sorry to the Black community for what I said about slavery during my debate with Naomi. It was not okay. I have absolutely no excuse for why I said that. It was just, I just said it, and I shouldn't have, and it's as simple as that, and I'm sorry. To the non-binary community,
Yeah, she also
I
said
said in
non-binary
my last
people
video
weren't real.
that I was willing to hear you guys out with an open mind to try to understand your identity more. And I've come to the realization that I don't need to understand.
For context, she said non-binary people weren't real. She also said that, you know, slavers treated their slaves very well, you know, all just absolutely horrid stuff.
What it means to be non-binary, to accept you guys. So I do accept you guys. And it doesn't, my understanding of your identity doesn't matter at all. There's a million people that don't understand my gender identity, that don't understand what it means to be trans at all. So I'm not going to be like the bigots on the right and tell you that I need to understand you to accept you, because I don't. And I will accept you, and I will respect your pronouns. And to honestly, the trans community as a whole, and that does include non-binary people, and I know that now, I'm sorry. I did this at quite literally the worst time. It was during, I didn't plan it out this way, but it was when Florida was making some of the most toxic bills ever, completely, you know, the Don't Say Gay bills, the bills against trans youth, all that stuff was just so disgusting. And I realized that my content probably gave a lot of sound bites to a lot of conservatives during, you know, a really scary time. And I completely just, I shut it out. I pretended like it wasn't happening, and that was wrong. And I'm sorry to you guys. I'm genuinely sorry. I want to do better from here on out. And I'm not making this video for validation, because I already know those comments are coming. I genuinely just had 3 groups of people, I guess technically 2, because like I said, non-binary people are also trans, but I had groups I needed to apologize to, and I didn't want it to be in some video where I was angry or upset. I wanted this to be just an apology, and I am sorry. I'm sorry.
Like, here's my take, okay? I do not know if this is genuine or not. It comes across to me as very genuine. Time will definitely be the final arbiter of whether it is. But like, I don't know. I haven't seen a turn quite this sudden and genuine from someone who was very much going to be kind of the next, you know, token trans star of the far right, you know? I last week it was enough for me to just be like, well, at least they aren't going to have this one, you know? At least when it comes to mouthpieces, the fascists are going to have one less of those. But I'm just, you know, I'm watching this turn of heart with cautious optimism. I don't know. Like part of it, guys, is like, she's eating massive shit for this, you know? It's just massive shit. It's a lot of crow to eat after you've spent, like, months, like, being that person, you know? Uh, 10-letter name, that was Nam Reddick, who I believe is already subscribed. I mean, like, just scrolling through the replies on this, just real quick, like, you are Bud Light. This is what happens when you try to make everyone happy. You can't. To thine own self be true. Oof, I'd probably delete this. Let's see, there was, just who exactly are you apologizing to? Is there president of trans, king of all blacks, non-binary unicorn? They don't exist. Just comes across as weak and achieves nothing. As the people you think you are apologizing to will never accept it. Waiting on your apology to women for appropriating our identities. Like, did you say she was on Tim Pool? She was going... So the catalyst for this change was that she was going to go on Tim Pool's podcast. And, you know, be that pick-me trans girl archetype. And it fell apart because Tim Pool kept insisting on calling, like, post-bottom surgery vaginas, neo-vaginas, wounds. He kept wanting to call them festering open wounds. And she ultimately was like, you know, I can't come on your show, Tim, if you keep calling it a festering wound. And he's like, well, that's what it is, though. So she wound up turning down the opportunity to go on Tim Pool's show, and has since, like, been getting just massive amounts of shit from the right for that, and also has now started apologizing. So, well, of course it's not an open wound. It's just a surgically reconstructed, like, organ. Like, that's what it is. You know? Also, again, and I've said this before, I'll say it again as many times as I need to, but, like, Tim Pool, when he calls, like, trans women's vaginas open wounds, is just participating in the long history of misogyny targeting women. Like, literally in the 1400s, they invented, like, slang for vaginas that was essentially translated today would be axe wound. You know, like, that's just been a thing in misogynistic language for ages. And he's just like, what? I'm just calling it what it is. I mean, like, Tim, are you walking around calling vaginas axe wounds? I mean, they be bleeding sometimes. Like, that was literally the logic in the 1400s behind why they came up with, like, that slang. Has she had the op? No idea. Been reminding myself a lot from this about how basically any 23-year-old nowadays is smarter than me at 23, and she might actually be doing well or better than a lot of other people in understanding the world. Possibly quasi-spec. I mean, I know that when I was 23, I was a dumbass, you know? When I was 23, like, I was so different when I was 23 from how I am today. Like, it's ridiculous. When I was 23, I didn't even know I was trans yet. I didn't even know who I was. You know, when I was 23, I was still like I had grown up within, like, the Christian church, and I didn't know whether or not gays were okay. You know, my opinions at 23 were not great. I am 23, can't confirm, am dumb. More power to you. All it really takes is, like, a commitment to doing better than we were, you know, yesterday. That's all any of us can do. And I see someone who's trying to be better, and I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about it. I plan on still being when I grow up to be 23. Hell yeah. I believe in change and redemption. I mean, I feel like believing in change and redemption, or specifically, like, change for the better and, like, redeeming people, is, like, a fundamentally progressive belief. Like, you need to believe that that's possible in order to be a progressive on the left. I don't understand people who reject that idea when it's foundational to leftist politics. Damn, I'm 20, can't wait to reflect on these years and learn how dumb I am. Well, I'm not trying to say that, like, if you're young, you're dumb. Because I wasn't dumb at 23, but I had a lot of bad opinions that I needed to learn and like do introspection on, you know? And at 31, I am not the same person I was at 23 in a large number of ways. I have tits now. That's a pretty big difference. God, my face is so shiny. True, exactly, Holly Hoomst. You are not currently dumb, but your future self will disagree with this assessment. I don't think anybody in this chat is dumb, to be honest with you. I believe in all of you. We all had bad opinion. We all got bad opinions right now too. Oh, definitely. Definitely. You know, like that's one of the most interesting things, right? Like we are at a time where we're going to watch kids grow up who are going to be so much more progressive than us. They're going to know so much more than we could even dream of. And they're going to like come to us one day and they're going to be like, hey, when you say that word, when you act that way, that kind of makes you an asshole. And like, that's going to be a moment for us to reflect and either try to do better or just be like, nah, I'm a major piece of shit. Sorry. And I hope we all choose to be better. Also, I have to brag about my luck. Got a Slayer task to kill a mob, and I got its rare 1 out of 512 drop twice within 15 kills at the start of the task. Damn, dude. Do not double down on everything once we get old. Yeah, and you know, I think it's fine to disagree with people, obviously, but like, sometimes those crazy kooky kids are going to be right. Sometimes they're going to be right about us being assholes, and we should change as a result of that. I don't know. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, this is somewhat related, okay? Aw. 10-letter name. Thank you for the $5 dono.
She's the top stack. Deflects transphobic flack. Makes them step the asterisk back. She's cool, smart, sexy with so much overlap. Make your brain light up like a spark gap. EZCLALPEs.
Asterisk. It messed with your flow, 10-letter name. Thank you for the $5 dono. I really appreciate it. Also, folks, if you're over on riverboat.gg, I would encourage you to donate subs, make a dono, because if you donate subs over on riverboat.gg, which has no ads, by the way, already, no sub required, head on over to riverboat.gg. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. This is the first top of the hour ad break because I haven't done one yet, so it's the top of the middle of the hour ad break. If you enjoy my content, if you're getting something valuable out of this, consider dropping some subs, donos, etc., because that is what allows me to continue to make content and to continue to live and, you know, pay things like medical bills. Yo, Metal Kitty Mom, you have a good time making dinner. Putting the ass in asterisk. I was so smart at 23. I, 1, didn't realize my posturing was hiding my own bisexuality. 2, didn't realize I was actually on a date with another man. 3, was so helplessly in love with a woman who unconsciously continued to rip my heart out. Good time, jeez. Oh, damn. I'm curious how I'm curious how you didn't realize you were on a date. I get paid in 2 hours? Hell yeah, Sentient Waffle, you eat some good food. Tatter Sale, I hope not. Okay. This was just a good video, and I wanted to go over it with you, because, you know, I do that sometimes.
I want to take a quick look at two men's stories about who is attractive and how those stories impact.
By the way, chat, this guy, this is what people mean when they say feminism is for men, okay? Feminism is what allows you to understand, like, the masculine narrative like this.
Impact men. One very common story that men in our culture have today is that young women are the most attractive. Many men think that this story is biological. Let's take a look at some of the impacts of this particular story. For one, it sets men up to age out of being in relationship with women that we find attractive. If men believe that young women are the most attractive, then we're effectively cursed to become creepy old men, lusting after the attractive young women and feeling bitter and resentful that we have to settle for ugly women our age. So right out of the gate, this story damns us to a life of progressively less joy and fulfillment. A secondary effect of that is men trying to cling to our youth in ways that prevent us from actually maturing or growing. If our story dooms us to become creepy old men with no access to beautiful women, then of course we instinctively want to put that horrible fate off as long as possible, so we artificially hold ourselves back. Instead of embracing healthy growth and maturation, we emotionally try and stay in our late teens and 20s in order to retain some sense of access to the only beautiful women. For another thing, if younger women are more attractive, then as men age, if we successfully get younger women to be in relationship with us, we end up being in ever-increasing power differentials with those women due to the experience gap. This obviously harms the women who are now in structurally subservient relationships, but think about what it does to the men as well. We're now effectively surrogate parents to women who could be our children. This puts us in a super untenable position, especially when it co-occurs with stories about how men should lead the family or whatever. Now men are effectively alone, even in our closest relationships.
And you know what, chat? At 31, I've seen so many men wind up in that exact position. I've seen so many men. This is like the end state for like pickup artistry, you know? Like they wind up, you know, dating a lot. They only date, you know, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. And then they try to settle down with one, and they are like 35, their partner is 20, and they are effectively like parenting this person who is in an unequal power dynamic relationship. Now, this isn't like a pedophile relationship. I mean, at 35 and 20, it's not. But it's the power imbalance is pretty apparent on the face of it, you know? You're going to be in different like places in your lives. You're going to have different experiences, different needs, different desires. And like, yeah, it is good to grow and change as you get older.
That story of younger women being more attractive has removed us from even the basic human support of having a partner who can match and meet us, see and support us in the growth and work of our age. Men are trapped in this situation of needing to have all the answers, constantly educating our partners, like, okay, this is how you file your taxes as an independent contractor for the first time. You just know that because of your age, and she doesn't because she just graduated college. But when every situation is like that, it reinforces the power differential. This might be what men are taught to want for a little while, but can you see how incredibly lonely it is over time to always be holding your partner's hand like that? To always be the one who needs to know things and hold it together? To never be able to learn from your partner in a balanced way? To never be in a reciprocal, generative relationship? So men with this story are more isolated and less...
Which, by the way, there are going to be outliers where, like, a younger person is going to be able to connect with an older person. You know, where like a 22-year-old is going to be able to connect with a 44-year-old in a romantic way, and they both have a reciprocal relationship, but the vast majority of them aren't going to be that way.
Resourced. Beyond that, it locks men into competition with all the other men their partner's age. This isn't about infidelity per se, it's just about resonance of life stage. A 50-year-old man dating a 23-year-old woman is constantly aware of how that 23-year-old is actually in a totally different place, and she probably wants to hang out with other 23-year-olds, some of whom are men. This drives a debilitating insecurity and fear of betrayal for that 50-year-old man.
I don't think he's putting younger women down so much as he's talking about how life experience is going to create a power differential in the relationship, you know? Just being more experienced does give you power, you know? Knowledge is power. And so, like, it's going to be an unequal relationship, at least in that way. And that's kind of what he's talking about here. And yeah, I think what he's talking about would also apply to if a woman was much older than a man, but it would apply differently because of the narratives we teach. We teach women and men respectively. We teach men and women in our society very, very different lessons about relationship dynamics.
Looking at these effects of this story together, is it any surprise that men with this story are falling apart? This story sets men up to be lonely, insecure, isolated, self-loathing messes, constantly seeking unattainable consolation in addiction, porn, dating apps, the manosphere, whatever they can find. Sound like anybody you know? Before we get too nihilistic, let's just take a glimpse.
Look, I'm not saying like it's our place to judge these relationships, but I am saying that like we're talking when we talk on this channel on like when we have conversations when I'm live, you know, one of the problems we keep coming back to is the fact that there are a lot of lonely men in the world and that we live in a very atomized society, right? And part of the reason men are lonely and remain atomized to a somewhat greater extent than women. I mean, like there was a study that came out maybe like a year and a half ago about how like men have like fewer and fewer friends over time. And I think the reason for that is we give the different genders, the two main genders in our society, very different narratives about relationships and the relationship dynamics we're supposed to have. And I think that's fine to talk about, you know? I think that is fine to talk about and not weird. Because, like, when people are single, they're gonna want to know what relationship dynamics are healthy, what relationship dynamics they should be striving for, you know? And so I don't think that, like, being like, hey, this is not a good relationship dynamic, this is not an equitable relationship dynamic, I don't think that's necessarily bad, you know? And that's why I also tried to say at the beginning, hey, this is just general guidelines, you know? Like, obviously there are going to be outliers where people are happy in, like, big age gap relationships. But we really, really, really emphasize that men should be in age gap relationships. That, like, you know, if you watch How I Met Your Mother, I know this is a dated reference now, but there's a character in the show How I Met Your Mother named Barney who literally, his entire purpose, even though he's like 40 years old, is only dating women like, what was it, like, who are like 20 or younger? Like that's a very common narrative we have fed men. And, like, it does not lead generally to healthy relationship dynamics. And I think that that's fine to say. Even though you will be able to find outliers where there's a perfectly healthy relationship. Oh, his hard cutoff was 30. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, I love Neil Patrick Harris. I just did not care for Barney. But I used to religiously, again, when I was 23, I used to watch a lot of How I Met Your Mother.
Glimpse under the hood of another story. What if our sense of attraction is supposed to grow and mature as we grow and mature? What if who is the most attractive woman is not a universal absolute, but a subjective experience that is not only able to, but supposed to naturally grow with the observer? In this story, you will have healthy, appropriate access to the hottest women in the world until the day you die. Your whole life, you'll be able to be with the hottest women, and they will want to be with you in ways that support you, your partners, your family, and your whole community.
Hot women.
You'll never be a creepy old man making young women around you uncomfortable. You'll be able to grow into a safe and stable elder. This makes age-appropriate growth and maturation an exciting life stage instead of a threat. You can be thrilled to experience your 30s, 40s, 70s, and all the growth that will come with that experience. You can spend your whole life excited for the next stage of your growth. And you can undertake each stage of your life with the support of incredible partners who can actually meet you, support you, love you, even guide and teach you. Can you imagine how that would feel? To have partners who you could actively learn from and make balanced decisions with because you deeply value their evolving wisdom, intellect, and experience just as much as you value your own thoughts. Partners who it was easy to trust and feel secure with because you know how they think, because they think more like you, because you're both the same age and in the same life stage. My fellow men, you have the power to choose your story, and which story you choose will determine the course of your life. If you think the first story is biologically hardwired, then as a biology teacher, let me just tell you that there is nothing that makes that first narrative more scientifically sound than the second, and in fact there's significant evidence that the second is far more scientifically evidence-based. Check out the video before this if you want to understand that science more, but regardless, know that your narrative, your future, is wholly within your power. Women understand this already. See the comments on my last two vids for details. We are the ones working to catch up. So, do you want to damn yourself to being a creepy old man clinging to his long-past youth and harming himself and everyone around him? You already know that story. You've seen it. Or do you want to spend your whole life loving the sexiest women in the entire world in mutually supportive, balanced relationships, helping everyone in your community to be and feel safe? The choice is yours.
Damn, he did that all in one take, too. Look, all I'm saying is, like, I think he's very correct. I don't know about the biology of it, but I do have to say I think he's very correct when it comes to talking about the choice of narrative that you choose to align your life with. You know, if you are aligning yourself and your life with the belief that you should be forever, 25, you're going to be immensely disappointed, both just with yourself personally and with your entire life and with your choice of partners. You are going to be either a miserable son of a bitch or you are going to be in a deeply problematic relationship, you know? Somebody else in chat gotta know what watchtowers and kingdom halls are. I don't know what kingdom hall is, but are you talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, Crossing Creed? Yeah, that was Watchful Coyote on TikTok. Yes, nailed it. Do 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 do. All right. Okay, folks, let's talk about Cornel West. Why did I almost said Kanye West? Jesus, my brain. I had therapy today, and my therapist suggested I might have ADHD, which would check out, I think, with how scatterbrained I've been recently. My dad was miserable just like that till the day he died. Well, a lot of people don't know that they have a choice in what types of narratives they believe, you know? A lot of people don't know that they have the ability to shape their own life story, and they don't just have to blindly believe fundamental aspects that are making them miserable, you know? Cornel West. Yes, we're going to talk about Cornel West. Here we go. Here, we'll start with Cornel West's announcement that he is running for president, which dropped yesterday.
In these bleak times, I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party. I enter into quest for truth. I enter into quest for justice. And the presidency is just one vehicle to pursue that truth and justice, what I've been trying to do all of my life. I come from a tradition where I care about you. I care about the quality of your life. I care about whether you have access to a job with a living wage, decent housing, women having control over their bodies, health care for all, de-escalating the destruction of the planet. the destruction of American democracy. Democracy creates disruption. It creates an eruption. It creates an interruption. Wide from below, the energies of everyday people is manifest. And I know there are precious people in your life who you care for. That's why it's important for you to be involved, important for you to participate. We're not talking about hating anybody. We're talking about loving. We're talking about affirming. We're talking about empowering those who have been pushed to the margins. Because neither political party wants to tell the truth about Wall Street, about Ukraine, about the Pentagon, about big tech.
Neo-fascists like Brother Trump or milquetoast neoliberals like Brother Biden. Wow, I'm so happy to make a world-shaking decision. You know what I mean?
Well, I know gangsters when I see them. And gangster's not a subjective expression, it's an objective condition. Do we have what it takes? We shall see. But some of us are going to go down fighting, go down swinging with style and a smile, accenting the best in you and trying to tease out the best in me. Let's do it together.
Now, I gotta tell you guys, I do really like Cornel West. You know, he's occasionally cringe, but he is generally pretty politically aligned with me. Which is why it makes me a bit sad to see that he is actually running as a candidate, not for the Democratic nomination, or not for the Democratic nomination. He's running for the with the People's Party. So if you don't know what the People's Party is, it is a party started in 2017, I believe. And it is a joke. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, it is a joke. It is something that is championed by the likes of Jimmy Dore. And it is run by a former... It's run by a former staffer for Bernie Sanders named Nick Branagh. And I just have to say... Oh, interesting. The actual press release... Is it gone? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so... Fun fact. What you're seeing here is the link to a page on the peoplesparty.org that was previously a letter to all members by Nick Branagh, the president of the People's Party. And it was titled, People's Party Blocks Liberal Takeover Attempt. Okay? And basically... Oh, GamerG, you can indeed... I'm only aware of one major one, which is that the president of the organization allegedly assaulted other members of the party, or the national chair, my bad, not president. There are assault and harassment allegations against him, and when that was when those were made public, he accused the other members of the People's Party of a liberal takeover, and then kicked them out. So here are some accusations of sexual assault and harassment against Nick Branagh have thrown the future of his political group, the Movement for a People's Party, into doubt. During a live recording of the Flashpoint podcast Tuesday afternoon, former MPP member Paula Jean Swearigan claimed that she had witnessed Branagh attempting to force himself on the group's former executive director, Xana Day. The assault allegedly took place in New York last July. I walked into the room and I saw Nick Branagh trying to push himself down on Xana. Is this tweet still up? It is not. Swearingen also told me and my guest, Status Quo journalist Jordan Cheriton, that Branagh pressured Day to give him phone sex even after their relationship ended. It's part of a pattern, she told me. I've seen not only how he abused her, but how he abused other people, Swearingen said. Yeah, no, like he is being credibly accused by a witness of sexual assault, and his response was to call it a liberal takeover attempt and kick anyone who disagreed with him out of the Movement for a People's Party. Day confirmed that version of events in a statement sent to Sheridan that he read on his live stream. In that statement, Day said that during the Branagh became aggressive when Swearingen and a volunteer left the hotel they were all staying in. Nick started saying he wanted to have sex, that it could be quick. I said no. He said it a couple of times again. I said no. We needed to leave. That Paula and the volunteer were waiting, and I was worried about the time. Nick grabbed my arms and started to push me onto the bed. He was laughing, but I did not find this funny. It did scare me, and I was struggling. I didn't know what would happen next, if he was just being playful or just aggressive. I was getting frustrated, saying no, and struggling to get away so we could leave. Paula Jean opened the door at that moment. I was relieved. Later, I told her that I was relieved that she came into the room because the incident was scary. I told her I didn't know if he was just trying to play with me or being aggressive, but that I had said no several times, and he still grabbed my wrists and pushed me onto the bed and was climbing on top of me. I felt it was clear that I wasn't playing around. Yeah.
If you'll allow me, Tina, just because I think it's important, Paula pointed out that she didn't come forward because she didn't want to, Xana had not come forward, but Xana herself has not said this that I know of. So I reached out to her just to get her side of it, and she sent me an email, so we just have it to show. Colin. So Paula Jean, this is from Xana Day, who on Friday went on Savi Saab show and shared her story of accusations against Nick Branagh of sexual harassment and assault. This is her as far as what Paula Jean just shared. Paula Jean, I, Nick, and a volunteer were sharing a room in New York when we were there for the AOC protest. Nick slept in the same bed as the volunteer. I shared a bed with Paula Jean. The day before, the volunteer had lost their cell phone and their wallet, so they needed a ride to the train depot. Paula Jean and the volunteer went downstairs to wait for Nick and me to wake. I was attempting to wake Nick several times. He said that I should text the volunteer to get a taxi. We, quote, shouldn't have to give him a ride, Nick said, according to Xana. Finally, Nick woke up after Paula called several times. I was frustrated because I was stressed that a volunteer was being treated in this manner, and we only had a certain time frame to get them to the bus station. After dressing, I was going to go downstairs to meet Paula and the volunteer. Nick started saying that he wanted to have sex, that it could be quick. I said no. He said it a couple times again. I said no.
That gets us through. Yeah, the rest is, as we read earlier. Yeah, it's disgusting stuff. The official People's Party Discord/Slack also had half a dozen all-white people debating who can say the N-word and when they can. Few black members complained. It didn't get addressed for over 24 hours, and the black members got booted from the chat while the discourse people were still in the org. This was years ago. I mean, yeah. Also, yeah, the People's Party is not good. Here are some tweets. People who menstruate, seriously? Sounds like NPR wants to cancel women. No, MLK's words were the opposite of woke. Rather, if he were alive today, he'd be stigmatized, smeared, and canceled by the woke mob. Goddamn. Also, just as an FYI, apparently Cornel West sits on the board of a pro-DeSantis classical aptitude test company. And he wrote an op-ed praising DeSantis's educational policies. I don't know that SDL, friend of the show, says he might actually be a grifter now. I don't know that I agree that Cornel West is a grifter. I do find this all very strange, though. Yeah. Here we go. I found it hard to believe until I saw it myself. Here's a link to a list of board members of CLT tests, Jeremy Tate's company. West is sitting there right alongside Christopher Rufo. Again, Christopher Rufo is the one who popularized CRT, critical race theory, as a Republican talking point, and has been spearheading a lot of the anti-trans rhetoric. Yeah. So yeah, here's a list of board members for CLT tests. We got Kevin Roberts, president, who's the president. He's aligned with the Heritage Foundation. You got Christopher Rufo of the Manhattan Institute. You got Justin Smith, Little Rock Christian School. Matthew Smith, Hildegard College. We got a whole bunch, and then at the bottom, Cornel West. He's right there. That's it. Irked. That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah, Christopher Rufo also popularized calling trans and gay people groomers, or anyone who had the pride flag a groomer. Like, he was one of the guys behind that brain gem, you know? So like, I don't know what to make of this, except that overwhelmingly, I think that this is bad. I don't think this is actually good, even though I generally have positive feelings towards Cornel West, even though I tend to align with him politically. I don't think that the vehicle that he has chosen to try to run for the presidency is good. I think it is actually bad, and it might even be beyond bad. It might be a, it might be like a Trojan horse type situation, frankly. And I say that, also noting that, like, unfortunately, Nina Turner is boosting this, and I do not know why. I do not know why. It's very strange. And I will finish this segment, then I gotta take that call. Dr. Ritchie is too. And I know that there's a ton of respect and love for Cornel West. Sorry, folks. And yeah, I know that there's a lot of respect and love for Cornel West, and I get it, okay? I really do. I get it. He's done a lot of really good stuff. He's been a wonderful voice for the left, and the progressive left in particular. But like, I want to remind you all what him running for president has the capacity to do. Okay? And if he continued to run for president longer than the primaries, if he did manage to get even just a fraction of the votes to make, like, 1-2%, we're talking, because I love him. I don't think he is going to win. I don't think he has a shot. But chat, this is the electoral map in 2020 if Joe Biden had gotten 2% less of the vote. Like, this is what it would look like. Even 1%, 2% can mean the difference between, like, there being a Trump in the White House. And there's no way that he's going to win. All that is going to happen here is splitting the vote and opening a door for either Donald Trump, a fascist, or Ron DeSantis, a fascist. And we can recognize that, like, this is gerrymandered to hell. We can recognize that our democracy is flawed, but we also have to recognize that the path we choose in 2024 is going to determine the next 4 years in a best case scenario. Because if we fuck up 2024, I don't know that we get elections in 2028. Okay? I don't know that Donald Trump, the guy who did January 6th, is going to allow himself to go out of power again. I don't think that Ron DeSantis is going to allow elections in 4 years that are going to be even possible for Democrats to win. Well, and that's the thing, Bill Casey. The primary is the time for this. But you can't primary someone if you're running in a different party, which means that Cornel West is effectively bypassing the primary process and is going to run in the general election, and that presents a huge, huge problem. Mostly because it has the potential and the very likely potential of splitting the vote. And if it's even a small fraction of the vote, that is extraordinarily bad. Yeah, exactly, Diamond Dynamo. Like, if this gains any amount of, like, momentum outside of, like, the online brain poisoned left, like, I'm definitely making sure I got my papers in order. Like, if Trump wins, my God, he's been talking about literally making it illegal for trans people to exist. Like, he's been talking about how he would pass legislation to make that happen. Unless Trump runs independent, Trump's not going to run independent. There's literally no chance of that happening. He's the front runner by like 40 percentage points. Did I forget to mention the People's Party isn't legally filed as a political party, so they have to navigate additional hoops for ballot access? Wonderful. They won't even get on the ballot in most states, but like they might get on the ballot in states that are most vulnerable, you know? Like I don't know, man. This is bad. And like it's not bad in a well, oh geez, we got cake and I wanted ice cream. This is bad in a it could potentially kill Biden's run for president. And not in like a way where like, oh, like it kills Biden's run for president and we get something better instead. No, in a like the entire house burns down way. You get neither cake nor ice cream and your house burns down with everyone you love inside of it. This election is terrifying even without someone splitting the vote. That just makes things worse. Yeah. Yeah. Frustrating as hell. Now, I love you all. I am going to go eat some cake with people I love very much. Keep your chins up, and we'll be back tomorrow, baby. We'll raid into Hassan, and y'all have a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna have some ice cream cake. I found a solution to the ice cream and the cake problem. Bye, everybody.